The Game just called himself the best rapper from Compton, better than Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, something in my hip-hop DNA told me something like this might happen.
Game just dropped a new mixtape with DJ Drama, and apparently
Game is throwing shots at not just Kendrick, but both Drake and Kendrick.
I know he don't want that type of smoke, boy.
Is this the smoke you want?
You don't want that type of smoke?
he wants it. He's trying to stir the pot with Kendrick Lamar.
Red Rose, y'all know the rest.
Red Rose, White Ceiling just responded.
Oh yeah, this is nasty, you guys. This is real clout chasing.
The Game just responded, y'all.
There was a lot of back and forth. If the Game was actually getting at Kendrick this way, was he doing it on purpose? Was he subbing him on purpose?
It seems like because there was such a backlash and such an immediate response to, but at least from the fans, it seems like he came out and he said something about it.
Now, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. The Game lied to us, you guys.
He laid it all to rest. If you was inquisitive and inquiring if the Game was dissing Kendrick Lamar or not, no need to worry any further.
So it looks like the rumors were true. It does seem that the Game was taking aim at Kendrick Lamar.
I should have known that a guy who's currently on the Mount Rushmore of rappers that lie would end up lying. Go figure.
We will literally listen to somebody says, I'm the king of LA, and the person that you said was king cannot do nothing about it. And then we'll be like, who could it be talking about? Well, he said it wasn't Kendrick, so it must not be Kendrick. It was Kendrick, y'all.
But this isn't new. The Game has been jealous of Kendrick for over a decade, and I have the receipts to prove it. What I'm about to show you is a 10-year timeline of jealousy, insecurity, and desperate attempts to stay relevant. Every time Kendrick Lamar achieved something major, the Game made a statement. Every time Kendrick reached a new level, Game tried to remind people he existed. And every time Kendrick ignored him, Game got more desperate. This isn't just about two rappers from the same city. This is about what happens when your time passes and you can't accept it. This is about watching someone younger, more talented, and more respected take everything you thought was yours. And this is about how jealousy can turn a legend into a cautionary tale. By the end of this breakdown, you'll see the pattern so clearly that you'll never look at Game's statements about Kendrick the same way again. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's go back to where it all started. 2012. Kendrick Lamar drops Good Kid, Mad City. Instant classic. Critics love it, fans love it. The industry recognizes that a new king is rising from Compton. The Game? He's still relevant at this point, but his peak was 2005 with the documentary, 7 years earlier. And now he's watching this young kid from his own city start to take his spot as the voice of Compton. The album doesn't just succeed, it redefines what West Coast hip-hop can be. It's not just gangster rap, it's storytelling, it's cinematic, it's art. And suddenly, everyone's talking about this new kid from Compton like he's the future of hip-hop. Game notices, how could he not? This is his city. This is supposed to be his territory. But now there's someone else getting the attention, the critical acclaim, the respect that Game thought belonged to him. Then comes 2013, the moment that changed everything. Kendrick drops the Control verse. He declares himself the king of New York, which gets all the headlines. But more importantly for our story, he says he's got love for everyone, but he's trying to murder them lyrically. He names names: Big Sean, Drake, Meek Mill, J. Cole, Mac Miller, Wale, Pusha T, A$AP Rocky, Tyler the Creator. But notice who he doesn't name: The Game. That omission hurt, because it meant Kendrick didn't even see Game as competition. He wasn't worth mentioning among the rappers Kendrick was trying to outdo. He was irrelevant to the conversation about who the best rappers were. And Game noticed immediately. On Twitter, he posted, "Kendrick said he the king of the West Coast.
I've seen like there is a lot of built-up resentment."
Now, going based on the project in order, the first one that we're going to talk about is Chrome Hearts. That's the first track that you listen to where you hear the shots get taken in the first place.
I don't turn down smoke, I don't turn up niggas' albums. First niggas were scared of my brothers, so I start pulling up without them.
I don't turn down smoke, I don't turn up people's albums. First guys were scared of my brothers, so I started pulling up without them.
Los Angeles king, show me a rooftop, I shouted. And the nigga y'all thought was king ain't gonna do nothing about it.
And the nigga you thought was king, this is what Game does.
Oh, hold on. Let me call Kendrick right quick. He busy right now. He recording this already. He recording this track already. He recording already.
Come on, game. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Los Angeles King, give me a rooftop, I'll shout it. And the man you thought was king ain't going to do nothing about it. And this is directly at Kendrick.
He's talking about Kendrick. He's talking about Kendrick.
Los Angeles King, show me a rooftop, I shout it. The nigga y'all thought was king ain't gonna do nothing about it.
And who would that person be if it's not Kendrick Lamar?
There's only one king currently of LA at this moment in time. There's only one king currently.
This is pretty much an obvious shot at Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick coins himself king. Obviously, the man has gone into full support of the West Coast. He said it in control, king in the West, king of the coast, both hands, I juggle them both. He received the torch from Snoop Dogg and many others. The game was there too. The game was there. And now he's talking like this, which is crazy because he was somebody who added a few words when Kendrick got passed the torch. So we know that he's talking about Kendrick. He was there when they first announced it. And I don't know why he has to start some problems like this, bro.
There is one obvious king of LA right now. And if Game wants to sidestep it and say, it's not really a Kendrick diss, it's one of those sneaky ones where you give yourself enough management room, enough wiggle room if you want to switch lanes depending on how you read the room, depending on how things are going. But we all know
This is reeking of the Black Slim Shady. Y'all remember that? When he was like, oh, I just want to do competitive back and forth with Eminem.
you can tell. You know what he's doing here. He's stirring the pot.
It's reeking of that. It's smelling like that where he's gonna come out and say he was dissing Kendrick, but then it's like, it's just competition.
But Kendrick Lamar isn't dumb. You truly don't get as far as he's gotten in his career by falling into traps like this. Obviously, we all know who the guy is talking about.
The reason why Game has had a lot of fallouts, it's the same thing with 50, where it just seems like Game is always habitually on the wrong side of history and always on the opposite side of what you would expect his loyalties would lie to.
But what's crazy is that he's saying that he's king. Why go against the grain? It's kind of what I'm feeling.
Hey, man, the game always got to try to find a way to slide in and make itself relevant again, right? Besides, like, just fucking rap, dude. If that's the case, like, don't come out here with all this nut shit.
I know the Game represents the West just like Kendrick does, but it's always one thing to call yourself king. But when the public agrees with it, or when they're the ones that announce you, or when your peers or your OGs announce you, the person to run it, the person that is the one that's in favor, the artist that everyone agrees on, when we say this is the guy that is running things, this is the guy that we are putting on the forefront, and that is Kendrick Lamar. The Game could say what he wants, but it's not what everybody's going to agree with.
But Game felt so threatened that he heard an attack that wasn't even there. That's the first sign of jealousy, when you're so insecure about your position that you hear challenges in statements that have nothing to do with you. This was the beginning of a pattern that would continue for the next decade. Every time Kendrick made a move, Game felt the need to remind people that he existed, that he was still relevant, that he was still the king of something. Over the next few years, Game kept taking subtle shots, never direct enough to start a real beef, always deniable. Always with just enough wiggle room to claim he wasn't talking about Kendrick specifically. In interviews, he'd say things like, "I'm the best from Compton," or "I put Compton on the map." Statements that were clearly aimed at Kendrick without saying his name. It was passive-aggressive jealousy disguised as confidence. Meanwhile, Kendrick was building his legacy. In 2015, he drops To Pimp a Butterfly. It's not just a great rap album, it's a cultural event. Critics call it a masterpiece. It wins a Grammy. It gets nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys, something almost unheard of for a rap album. Game drops the documentary too the same year. It's solid, it's a good album, but nobody's calling it a masterpiece. Nobody's comparing it to Kendrick's work. The contrast is stark and painful, and you can see the frustration building in Game's interviews. In a 2016 interview, Game says, "I can out-rap anybody." When asked about Kendrick specifically, he deflects. Kendrick's dope, but I'm different. Different, not better. Because even Game knows he can't say better without getting laughed at. So he uses words like different to avoid direct comparison while still trying to elevate himself. This is classic jealousy behavior. When you can't compete directly, you try to change the terms of competition. You try to make it about something else, style instead of skill, longevity instead of current relevance, street credibility instead of artistic achievement.
In the industry, just as any other industry, relationships are probably the most important part of all of it.
We know of all the LA, of all the West Coast legends, who was kind of more in Drake's camp during the Kendrick and Drake beef because of his previous ties with Drake. Game. Always Game.
And if you don't know, he was really bigging up Drake, and he wasn't at the pop out, wasn't invited to the Super Bowl where Dre and Kendrick were on. I think Game has resented Kendrick for a while.
We share the same internet as these rap guys. The Game be seeing the videos where they be saying that he jealous of Kendrick and all of that. It's getting to him. Trust me.
I don't know if it's a jealousy thing. I don't know. I think he resents him. I think whether it's a competition thing, I think it goes a little bit more than competition. I think he rocked with Kendrick, but somewhere it was like, remember, I'm the king. It feels a little jealousy.
The next song where he decided to take shots was in America's Nightmare. Right here, I believe he actually took shots at Drake and Kendrick at the same time.
I'm out here looking for revenge. Chrome Benz, chrome rims, riding around with this Drake. No friends, no spins. Fuck the
riding around with this Drake, no friends. Yeah, that's a. It's funny where the reference to Kendrick feels like a diss, and it's definitely at least a competitive shot. And then the reference to Drake is more, I'm riding with a Drake, is more like bigging him up.
He says, chrome Benz, chrome rims, riding around with this Drake, no friends, no spins, F the radio, F the clubs, F the Fashion Nova fit.
There's somebody that says, fuck the radio and fuck the club. You sure are doing a lot of stuff to try to get your music played in those places.
F all the cap and fake love, F the dap and fake hugs, F these ops and fake thugs, fake followers, fake streams, fake buzz, fake beefs on podcasts, fake Crips and fake Bloods, fake chains, all you do is rap and take drugs.
I don't know if I can get on board with this one, man. I don't know. This just sounds like some generalization going on.
I think this is in regards to Drake, when he talks about radio play, the clubs, not receiving it. Fashion Nova, I don't think Kendrick rocks Fashion Nova, but he says Drake, and Drake has a song called No.
Then comes 2018. The moment that broke Game's brain. Kendrick Lamar wins the Pulitzer Prize for music, the first rapper ever to win it. For damn. Let that sink in. This isn't just a hip-hop award. This isn't just industry recognition. This is the literary establishment, the academic world, the highest levels of American culture recognizing rap as art and recognizing Kendrick as a poet, worthy of the same honor given to classical composers and jazz legends. Game's response? Radio silence at first. For weeks, he says nothing. You can imagine him sitting there, watching the news coverage, watching Kendrick get praised by people who would never even acknowledge Game's existence. Then, weeks later, in an interview, Game finally responds. I could have won a Pulitzer too if I made that type of music. That type of music. As if Kendrick's artistry is a choice Game could make but chooses not to. As if it's not about skill or talent or vision, but about style. As if Game is deliberately choosing not to make Pulitzer-worthy music because he's too real, too street, too authentic. That's cope. That's jealousy. That's a man watching someone from his city achieve something he never could and trying to convince himself that he could do it too if he wanted to. But the truth is, Game couldn't make Damn if he tried for 100 years. The conceptual depth, the lyrical complexity, the thematic consistency, the artistic vision, these aren't things you can just choose to do. These are things you either have or you don't. And Game doesn't have them, and he knows it. And that knowledge is eating him alive. Fast forward to 2022. The Super Bowl is coming to Los Angeles. Dr. Dre is curating the halftime show. This is huge. The biggest stage in American entertainment, happening in the city that birthed West Coast hip-hop. The lineup gets announced. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, and Kendrick Lamar. Notice who's not there? The Game. The self-proclaimed best rapper from Compton. The man who claims he put the city on the map. He's not even considered. Not even a cameo appearance. Not even a mention. Meanwhile, Kendrick performs in front of 100 million people on the biggest stage in the world, representing Compton, representing West Coast hip-hop, representing the culture. Game's response? He posts on Instagram, I should have been on that stage. Not congratulations to Kendrick. Not proud to see Compton represented. Not great show by everyone involved. Just, I should have been there. Pure jealousy. Pure entitlement. The inability to celebrate someone else's success because you're too focused on your own perceived slights. This is what jealousy looks like, when someone else's achievement becomes about what you didn't get instead of what they earned. When you can't see past your own ego to appreciate greatness happening right in front of you. Now we get to 2024, the Drake versus Kendrick beef, the biggest rap battle in a decade. The entire hip-hop world is watching as Kendrick systematically dismantles the biggest name in rap. Kendrick destroys Drake with Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us. It's not even close. The culture sides with Kendrick. The critics side with Kendrick. Even Drake fans start admitting Kendrick won. Not Like Us becomes a cultural phenomenon. It's playing at parties, at barbecues, at sporting events. Kendrick performs it at the Super Bowl halftime show. Again, for the second time in 2 years, Kendrick is on the biggest stage in America. And where's Game during all this? Quiet, completely silent while the biggest rap beef in years is happening in his backyard. But then, after it's over, after Kendrick has already won, suddenly, Game starts talking. I'm the best from Compton. Kendrick won't respond to me. I can out-rap anybody. Why now? Why wait until after Kendrick's biggest victory to make these claims? Because Game knows Kendrick is at his peak, and Game wants some of that attention. He wants people to talk about him the way they talk about Kendrick, but they won't, because everyone sees through it. Everyone understands that this is desperation, not confidence. Which brings us to the Shannon Sharpe interview, where Game finally says it out loud, with no ambiguity, no room for interpretation. I'm definitely the best rapper from Compton. Not one of the best, not top tier, not in the conversation. The best. Better than Kendrick Lamar, who has a Pulitzer Prize, multiple Grammy wins, universal critical acclaim, and the respect of every serious hip-hop fan on the planet. Shannon asks him about Kendrick directly. Game deflects. Kendrick's great, but I'm different. There's that word again. Different.
Red Rose. Y'all know the rest.
Red Rose, White Ceiling just responded.
Oh yeah, this is nasty, you guys. This is real clout chasing.
The Game just responded, y'all.
There was a lot of back and forth. If the Game was actually getting at Kendrick this way, was he doing it on purpose? Was he subbing him on purpose?
It seems like because there was such a backlash and such an immediate response to, at least from the fans, it seems like he came out and he said something about it.
Now, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. The Game lied to us, you guys.
He laid it all to rest. If you was inquisitive and inquiring if the Game was dissing Kendrick Lamar or not, no need to worry any further.
So it looks like the rumors were true. It does seem that the Game was taking aim at Kendrick Lamar.
I should have known that a guy who's currently on the Mount Rushmore of rappers that lie would end up lying. Go figure.
We will literally listen to somebody says, I'm the king of LA, and the person that you said was king cannot do nothing about it. And then we'll be like, who could it be talking about? Well, he said it wasn't Kendrick, so it must not be Kendrick. It was Kendrick, y'all. Like, use context. What's wrong with y'all?
After fans claimed that Game was dissing Kendrick on his new album, the Game came out with a statement addressing it.
That says, y'all reaching. If I got a problem with it, you ain't gonna need to guess.
Secondly, y'all fans write anybody that the internet tells y'all to.
You see, now he's getting a little defensive on Kendrick. If it ain't a rapper in the soft industry who wants smoke, which we include Kendrick.
They know any fan who know my body of work know. Merry Christmas, ho-ho ass nigga.
Now, the problem with this response is that it's very passive aggressive, which would also confuse a lot of people by what you're saying.
Like, how is this saying you're not dissing Kendrick?
He could lie to y'all. He can't lie to me.
Let's get that. Listen, yo, Game, I ain't gonna lie to you. You're not a threat to this man.
If you're trying to clear up rumors that you're not dissing somebody on your records, why are you then trying to send a message like you really want smoke?
I know you mad that Dotta's on top right now, representing the West Coast. I know you mad.
If I'm gonna be honest with you, if Joey Badass ain't a threat, what makes you think you a threat? Please explain to me.
Yo, somebody called the Game the West Coast version of Joey Badass, and I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it.
You're responding to the people questioning if you are dissing Kendrick or not. And you're saying, if I got a problem with somebody, you will know. And then talking about his fans, saying that they only ride with him because the internet tells them to, and not because of the skill set or not because of the talent. Again, I feel like this response isn't clearing the air at all.
And there's another reason when people who are like, Punch, who are on social media, who tweet all the time, did not come out and say, oh, we don't got problems with Game. There's a reason why someone like 2T's came out and said what he said.
Also saying that there's no rapper in this soft industry that wants the smoke from you. When you say that, you're also including Kendrick in that conversation while also responding to these Kendrick rumors.
Tell me why you think this man is a threat towards Kendrick. You gotta let me know, because as far as I see it, this man is a house rat. Okay, not a house cat, a house rat.
I think the Game's passive aggressive responses is what leaves a lot of confusion and a lot of people upset at the same time.
The Game did an interview with Shannon Sharpe. That's right, you guys. The Game sat down and he lied once again. Shannon Sharpe asked him, hey buddy, do you think you're the best rapper in Compton? Game confidently says yes.
You still the best rapper from Compton? I'm definitely the best rapper from Compton.
What is that saying? I'm the best rapper from Compton. What is that saying about Kendrick Lamar?
And that's why I keep telling y'all, because I even saw some people post, be like, see, Game put Kendrick above himself on his LA list. And it's just like, bro, I guess I was just a bigger Game fan than a lot of niggas. Like, bro, Game is damn near bipolar, dog.
The thing about this though, is I don't see nothing wrong with somebody saying they the best, period. I don't care what it is. I don't care what arena you in. I don't care if it's football, basketball. If you don't think you the best, who else gonna say it? But you're gonna have to prove it. You're gonna have to prove it.
Game does this all the time. He will tell you, Game used to drop shirts that said hip hop broke my heart. Y'all don't even know that. Y'all don't know that because y'all fans. Y'all don't know that.
Yeah, that's it. Ain't nobody getting at you? Can't nobody outrap me, man. And anybody that knows will know. Because people can't, even if you are, like, no one can do what I can do. Like, no one has my skill set. Because not only do I have the ability to wrap circles around people, I'm also with all the bullshit, too, if it came down to that.
And he's taking it to the streets. He said nobody can red rose white ceiling him.
Game is a great rapper. I don't want to take that away.
I don't discredit his ability to rap. I never have.
No, Game made me no longer like him be the way that he acted, or no longer be the fan of him I was. Can't say I don't like him, I don't know him. Because of him.
Nobody on God's green earth out in the West Coast go red rose white ceiling him.
Now, immediately after this clip was released, fans told Game fuck out of here, and they all started spamming Kendrick Lamar's name. Because of course, when you think about Compton, right now, a lot of people just think about Kendrick. The fans spammed up Kendrick Lamar's name on every clip, so much so that it got the Game pissed off. The man said enough is enough.
Fans got a lot to say about who I can and can't out rap, but the nigga y'all defending quiet. Come on, bro.
There you go. That's all we need.
No, this is nonsense.
This man really wants Kendrick to respond to him. He really wants to go bar for bar with him.
Notice how he doesn't say his name.
But you see, he ain't saying his name, though.
But yeah, anybody who was trying to tell me that he wasn't dissing Kendrick and I was reaching, come to the front of the class.
You see, he ain't saying his name. He says, fans got a lot to say about who I can and can't out-rap. I say you can't out-rap Kendrick.
Now, there's so many things going through my head. First of all, why would you call him out after you claimed fans were reaching for saying that you were dissing him on your album?
The same reason he would big up Eminem and say he's the greatest rapper and then basically act like he never said that. The same reason that he would just try to battle with Rick Ross because he wanted to battle.
Niggas is afraid. Literally afraid. I've never seen this before, bro. I've never seen this before.
But the ninja y'all defending, quiet. He's quiet because he's the boogeyman. He gonna wait till you fall asleep, right? This is what he gonna do. He gonna wait till you fall asleep. And then he gonna open your door, your closet door. I don't know how he got there. He just Charlie clips his way into the door. Then you gonna peep behind the door, and there you go. That's your ass, Mr. Postman.
If you're really gonna do anything with Kendrick, you might as well just do a feature with him. But maybe it's because he doesn't want to do the feature is why you're upset.
I've never seen this before. Still will not say his name. I've never seen an artist command that type of respect. And bro, I'm from Chicago, bro. Like, I'm not from the West Coast. I'm a fan of Kendrick, but I'm not a Glazer. I've never seen somebody have that kind of effect where you won't even say his name.
Why would you send him your album beforehand if you wanted smoke with him all along?
Going on, tell us what happened. What happened behind the scenes. So I'm trying to let you know the narrative before it jumps out there that he's dissing him.
Well, that's what I said. They have somebody that's in the know that could clear the air about this conversation.
I ain't going for none of that when you dealing with somebody that's unstable like Dame, bro. I don't care.
They heard it before it even came out and all that type of shit. They had to know that.
Yeah. Well, look, I wasn't gonna tell them that. I didn't know that.
Well, you gotta diffuse it. We gotta put the fire out.
All right. Well, if that's the case, they sent it to Dot and Top and all them, before they even dropped the project.
You sent the album over to them, and then now all of a sudden it's smoke.
So based on your logic, that means he's heard it. And now you're trying to call him out like, see
Kendrick's great, but I'm different. There's that word again, different. The same word he's been using for years to avoid direct comparison while still trying to elevate himself. Then Game posts on Instagram trying to bait Kendrick into responding, because a Kendrick response would give Game relevance. It would put him in the conversation. It would make people pay attention to him again. But Kendrick stays quiet because he doesn't need to respond. His work speaks for itself. The Pulitzer Prize speaks for him. The Super Bowl performances speak for him. The critical acclaim speaks for him. The cultural impact speaks for him. And that silence, that drives Game crazy, because silence means irrelevance. Silence means you're not worth responding to. Silence means you're not even in the conversation. Let's zoom out and look at the pattern, because once you see it, it's impossible to ignore. Every time Kendrick achieves something major, Game makes a statement about being the best. Kendrick drops a classic album, Game reminds everyone he's the king of Compton. Kendrick wins a Pulitzer Prize, Game says he could have won one too if he made that type of music. Kendrick performs at the Super Bowl, Game says he should have been there. Kendrick wins the biggest rap beef in years, Game says Kendrick won't battle him. This isn't confidence. Confident people don't need to constantly remind others of their greatness. Confident people don't feel threatened by other people's success. Confident people can celebrate excellence without making it about themselves.
It's absolutely a rollout. We gotta call it for what it is.
Now, it gets even more interesting, you guys. A fan commented and told Game, yo, you gotta holla at Kendrick first. Game responded back to the guy and deleted this. He said, I don't gotta holla at nobody I influenced.
I know he think he could go back and forth with Dot. I know he can. But he want to try to trick everybody like, nah, I ain't speaking about that. But he want that notoriety. He want the notoriety as if he want to go back and forth with him. I know he can't touch him.
All right, this is another thing where I was like, are y'all being dumb on purpose? Because when people was like, oh, he wouldn't diss Kendrick, I was like, my nigga, he's dissed Dr. Dre, Eminem, and 50 Cent. Those three people if those three people didn't exist, there would be no Game. We would not know Jayceon Taylor. So what makes you think Kendrick is sacred? Like, that's what I was like, what if he'll diss these niggas, what makes you think Kendrick is sacred? Y'all just be doing your own lore in your head. Like, of course he diss Kendrick.
The Game wanna do it, but he know he can't do it. He's scared.
Bro, listen, we all know. We all know, but he gonna hide behind that, because if the smoke do come down, then what?
The Game he want to do it. He probably been saving up some shit this whole time. He probably been saving up some raps all these years. You never know.
I think he knows that Dot not gonna respond to him either. So I think he kind of has that kind of veil of protection in a sense where I'm not on his radar.
There should be zero reason why this should be in the battle space. If you want to stand on your square, go ahead.
This is insecurity. This is a man watching someone eclipse him and desperately trying to stay relevant. This is jealousy disguised as bravado. And the timing is always the same. Game never makes these statements when Kendrick is quiet or between projects. He always waits until Kendrick is getting attention, getting praise, getting recognition. Then suddenly, Game needs to remind everyone that he exists. That's not coincidence. That's pattern. That's psychology. That's a man who can't stand watching someone else get the respect he thinks he deserves. So why can't Game just admit Kendrick is better? Why can't he give credit where credit is due? Why can't he celebrate the success of someone from his own city? Because admitting that means admitting his time has passed, that he's no longer the guy, that Compton has a new king, that the torch has been passed to someone younger, more talented, and more respected. And for someone whose entire identity is built on being the best, on being the king, on being the voice of his city, that's impossible to accept. So instead, he makes bold claims that nobody believes. He takes shots that nobody cares about. He tries to bait Kendrick into a response that will never come. But Kendrick doesn't respond because he doesn't need to, because responding would legitimize Game's claims, because silence is the most devastating response of all. The Pulitzer Prize speaks for Kendrick. The Super Bowl performances speak for him. The critical acclaim speaks for him. The cultural impact speaks for him. The respect of his peers speaks for him. Game has none of that, and he knows it. And that knowledge is driving him to make increasingly desperate attempts to stay relevant. The saddest part about all this? Game is a talented rapper. The documentary is a classic album. He has skills. He has a place in hip-hop history. He contributed to the culture. But instead of accepting his place in celebrating the next generation, instead of being a mentor and an elder statesman, instead of gracefully passing the torch, he spent a decade trying to tear down someone who's objectively better than him. That's not what legends do. That's what jealous people do. That's what insecure people do. That's what people do when they can't accept that their time has passed. And it's made Game look smaller, not bigger. It's made him look desperate, not confident. It's made him look jealous, not legendary. The Game has been jealous of Kendrick Lamar for over 10 years. Every major moment in Kendrick's career has been followed by Game making claims about being the best. Every achievement Kendrick has earned has triggered Game to remind people he exists. It's not confidence. It's insecurity masked as bravado. It's jealousy disguised as competition. It's a man who can't accept that someone from his own city has surpassed him in every meaningful way. And the pattern is so clear, so obvious, so consistent that once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every time Game opens his mouth about being the best from Compton, you'll remember this timeline. You'll remember the jealousy. You'll remember the desperation. So the next time Game says he's the best from Compton, remember, he's been saying that for 10 years, and nobody believes him. Because we all know who the real king is. The king who doesn't need to remind us he's the king.